So, hey everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Thanks for watching and joining. Welcome 2 days before Christmas. Happy holidays and all that stuff. And today I want to talk about some other, I forgot to add a point here before I forget. Okay, now we're done. I'm sure I'm going to have more brain farts like this. I think this is really important to show. Hopefully your trading's been really good this year. If you have started in the markets, it's been pretty well one of the best years yet. I think I've heard 25, 27% return. That's unbelievable, but it's there. So let's start first talking about the bots. Back in the day, I launched a course, actually 2 years ago. So I'm going to show you my store here. It's not a pitch, but it just shows you where we started, where we came a year ago. So I got everything on my Shopify here. So I've been really pushing 3 different products. And this one, the course, that starts it all for those that want to get started. I will tell you right out of the gate, a lot of people get all excited by taking these type of courses, but they never follow through, they never finish. I'm going to talk about what I think a lot of the weaknesses for people and what I've done about it. Obviously, it's MotiveWave, the trading platform, so we're going to talk about that. And it's, again, lessons learned this year, but I've had a strong feeling about it for the last, let's say, maybe 5-10 years. It's a lot more competitive now out there, obviously. All these, what I call pimp and hoe lifestyle frat boys and their Lamborghinis showing how easy it is and you'll make lots of money. All these educators that you see are probably going to scam you one way or another. It's as simple as that. I try to be honest as possible. That's why I'm tiny compared to a lot of them, because I like to sleep at night knowing that I'm trying to really help people in trading. So let's first talk about this course that I put out about 2 years ago. This is a tough, it's not a tough course to go through if you're a programmer, but if you're starting from nothing, this is a really tough course to go through. Python, these are all the different major infrastructure that you'll find in a trading bot, databases, charts, wrappers to the exchange, the crypto exchange. You'll also find how to wrangle the data, I could go on and on and on. And this is pretty tough. A lot of people get overwhelmed. They get very close to finishing it. They realize how hard it is to get across the finish line. And, even with me developing my own bots, I had bots. I'll talk about them in a little bit, and where everything ended up. So that's generally Python bots, just generally. Now, when I started working on it this time last year, if you are successful in trading, I will tell you, chances are, especially in crypto, you would have done quite well. And if you know what to look for, you can do well. And that's what part of the course is. But I want to show you 2 winners that did really well earlier in the year. I'm on Binance. So this chart I'm going to show you, I just want to show you the rise of this particular coin here. So this time last year in beginning of December, you can see here how fast this coin has risen. Okay, and that took us up until about mid-April. So when I started doing these bots really seriously with that stuff in the course, I thought, man, I'm a genius, because look at this rise I got. You're getting 70% win ratios, you were getting double-digit daily returns, and it was because of one of these charts. It's because of BNB BTC. So it was doing really, really good. But look what happens throughout the remainder of the year. It just falls off after April and just goes into a steady decline. And there's another one I could say the same thing. So you're thinking what you've got, you're making billions of dollars, but you're not. And this is part of the problem with something like crypto. Let's see if I can find BTC. Hang on here. So this is between this time last year and basically this time last year, and we got here same thing on this rise as well. So back in December, you can see where Litecoin's here, and it just goes up all the way up to here. It falls off at the same time, roughly in April, and has a peak here. That's because I'll show you the next big eureka moment, and it's just been a steady decline. So year over year, I mean, Litecoin is lower than where Litecoin was this time last year. So, you know, you have to expect that. You have to be on the lookout for that. Then when all of this started to dry up, these two pairs, what happened after that was you got Bitcoin itself. Let me just show you. Let me just see if I can find it here. Bitcoin USD around June took off as well. I mean, it went up some crazy number. But you can see here, just as those two pairs drop off, you see here in May, like a few weeks later, Bitcoin went from 5,100 and more than doubled. So it's been on a steady decline too. Slower than the other two, right? So that is the state of Bitcoin and the other ones that I just showed you. So the hard part to tell you is overall with these bots, these Python trading bots, they can do well for a time based upon what the market conditions allow you to do well in. I'm going to show you some other ones that have recently done well, but you probably don't know about them unless you're on Binance, and you will not hear about them on in the mainstream because they pretty well think overall crypto's dead. So point here is it's very hard to stay on top of the bots. You're always needing to, if you're going to sustain those type of trades, those type of returns, you have to stay on top of those bots and trying to figure out where to trade. There's a lot of luck involved in these two situations. It has nothing to do with the bots themselves and the strategies. There is luck. There's no doubt about it. So as I showed you in the charts throughout the summer and till the remainder of this year, there's been this pretty well massive decline because people lose interest in crypto and Bitcoin and whatnot. So that's how it's been since the summer. So out of that, you now got to start figuring out where do you go to figure out what will circumvent these type of drops when you do well between, let's say in the spring, pretty good over the spring summer with these two events, and then what do? Like, do you go into other asset classes? Do you try different strategies? But when it comes to strategy development and let's say just crypto itself, you can't tell me it's easy to develop trading bots and strategies in a falling knife scenario. So for the last 6 months, it's definitely been a falling knife scenario for crypto, no doubt, on long-term trend. So this is where we're at. Drop volumes. So now you got to look at two things: strategy, asset class, and maybe platform. Okay, so let's talk about the Python bot development. I will not lie to you, Python bot development is hard. This course that I've got here that I've talked about will help you in that. It will probably cut out 75% of the crap that you'll go through to develop a decent bot with Python, with machine learning and all that. Okay, machine learning is not going to help you here. It's just the falling knife scenario is just not going to stop machine learning. Machine learning will help, but it's not going to, stop you. It's going to remove still a lot of the trends and events that will help sustain those kind of returns that you would have seen in the first 6 months of 2019. So, number one you got to look at is speed of development, speed of bot development, speed of strategy development. That's when I started revisiting MotiveWave back in sometime in the fall, let's say September. So MotiveWave hopefully you guys have seen MotiveWave. Again, I don't want to sit here and go on about it, but MotiveWave's having a big sale this weekend after Christmas, Boxing Day. So there it is, 25% off of most of the product. But going back to MotiveWave, there's a lot of features here that you can get with MotiveWave instantly. So I challenged a couple of people who's got trading ideas, trading bot ideas, who's got algorithmic ideas. So what I did was I took 3 or 4 of them and I thought, okay, if I'm going to be very quick at developing strategies and ideas and implementing them, let me check out what MotiveWave offers. So a lot of them, the two of the ideas had over 2 pages of trading rules. And a lot of them had typical trading strategies or studies or indicators in there that a lot of platforms don't have, or you got to pay extra money for them, or you have to, with Python you can kind of code it up, but it's a real hassle to do it. So again, it's not helping you evolve as a developer, software developer, a trading developer, a strategy, we call it researcher, or whatnot. You have to have a platform that enables you to come away with fast implementation of trading ideas. So when I went through that process of looking at these algos, I started to realize that MotiveWave had virtually every single indicator that was in these algorithmic ideas. I was not able to, I didn't want to waste a lot of time on trading ideas that had like 3 pages of trading rules. I'm going to be honest with you, I just didn't want to go through that. I think it was a complete waste of time. So, but at the end of the day, I was still able to find all the strategies or all the what they call studies indicators in MotiveWave, at the same time be able to match the exact parameters that were specified in these trading rules. So I'm like, holy moly, if I was to be able to do that with a platform like MotiveWave and be able to come up with trading ideas and trading implementation really fast, why am I hand coding all this stuff, regardless of C++, Python, .NET, whatever? Why am I wasting my time on that? And that's where I stuck with MotiveWave because of that, because I'm trying to, I guess you could say, I'm trying to get out of the world of programming and coding, and using coding as a secondary arrangement where if there's a real problem, I'll be able to code it up working with something like MotiveWave. And that's what I've been doing for the last month or 2. And it's working really well because I can see things I'm not able to see. So that is what MotiveWave has offered me, because I can show you, I've got 2 instances of MotiveWave running right here in crypto and Forex. So that is pretty well the high level of MotiveWave. As I said, if you guys got any questions, just type them out in the chat and I'll gladly answer them as we go. So one of the big advantages that MotiveWave gives you is that when I started looking at the bots for Python development, there's something called CCXT, and that enables you to have access to over 100 crypto exchanges with one API, one wrapper, one Python library or package. So you could develop all your crypto strategies, but you're still hand coding them, but you could just easily swap out from one exchange to another. So I did a test between Binance to Kraken. I used Kraken for a while and I started realizing Kraken was bad technology. You couldn't get proper fills with it. It's to do with, I think, more lack of volume than anything else. And then I thought, okay, I'll try out Coinbase. So I took all the bots, moved them over to Coinbase. I did it within a day because of the benefit of CCXT. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. But I'm still hand coding stuff. But here, again with MotiveWave, I could have a trading idea, have it with a set of charts, and I keep everything, or not charts, but indicator studies, combine them, put them into a template, and then be able to apply them to any chart, regardless of what asset class it is, regardless of what broker it is. So when you look at these brokers here, you go, oh my God, like this is another big, massive benefit that MotiveWave offers you. There's not, I mean, I just looked at NinjaTrader, and NinjaTrader is the largest platform in the world. That's their closest competitor. You can only maybe talk to Interactive Brokers, NinjaTrader the broker, and maybe another broker like Thinkorswim or something. But here, look at all the brokers you have. You have Coinigy for your crypto. You've got Canon Trading for your futures and options. You have AMP for your futures. You've got all the big Forex brokers, Forex.com, FXCM, Gain, Interactive Brokers is there, Oanda. I mean, on. You could also do TD Ameritrade if you want. All the big traditional retail brokers are there as well. TradeStation you can also include, Tradeovate, all of these. So the point is that now you have one platform that will talk to a lot of the data providers out there, the brokers. And I'm like, oh my God. So now I can take the same concept as Python, the CCXT crypto exchange wrapper, and now apply it to this platform. Okay? But I can now just step outside of not only crypto, but I can apply it literally to any asset class I want. Stock, futures, and options. That's where the big money-making machines are. Okay? That's what's going to build you wealth in those asset classes. So now you can take that same trading idea I talked about here, okay, all of this stuff I've talked about here, implement them into MotiveWave, and then be able to deploy them across whatever asset class you want, any broker that's popular and that's fairly good. Okay, so this is like, to me, was like a massive eureka moment. I mean, it was huge. Okay, massive, and I was able to do so much in such a little time. And then when I started working with MotiveWave, I started realizing why I wasn't doing so well in crypto. Because when you look at the charts, and I've got tons of videos on this, you look at some of the charts on what I was trying to trade, the volumes were weird. The trading patterns and pricing action was weird. The volume, the volatility, you just start to see from a 35,000 foot view on why you're struggling in Python with a trading bot in Python. Nothing against Python itself, but what we're saying is that you could spend a year, 6 months, 3 months wasting your time on something and go, oh my God, it's because of what I'm trading is the problem, not a strategy. And then that brings me to another big discovery, is the backtesting facility in MotiveWave and the walk forward. Just as something that you have to understand is, with MotiveWave, you can run backtests very quickly. Let me show you here. I got a video on this, and I'm not going to go into it, but this is just one of the other big, massive benefits of MotiveWave is the optimized feature. Actually, I can do it right now. Why don't I do it right now? Okay, so I'm right here in MotiveWave in the right here. These are my current open charts, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into MotiveWave here, and I want to show you this optimized feature. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do run a random strategy that is out of box from MotiveWave. So if I go in here and run a back test on a simple strategy, like they have this RSI strategy, I just want to show you an example of what eureka moment you'll see. Okay, you choose that, you want to do a back test. Okay, so this is a coded up strategy already. I'm going to use the default of this strategy. So I just want to show you the benefits of this. I'm going to show you all of these pairs here. So this is Oanda, the broker, of course, Forex broker. And this is all live data. Okay, there's no smoke and mirrors here, and I'm including CFDs as well. I'm running this strategy. So what this strategy is, it's a simple buy when it's at 30, at RSI is 30, and sell when you have your data, or sorry, when you sell it when you hit 30. So I'm just gonna use weekly data here, okay? Not daily, because I want to speed up the back test itself. So you have all these different time periods. This is real live data. Go minute, bid ask. I mean, it's crazy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to choose weekly. Just show you something here. Okay, simple strategy. I'm going to start with $100,000 capital. Okay, now there's a tool out there called Backtest. Backtest is very powerful, but what I want to show you here, here's all the returns that you would get if you had run this strategy, okay, and realize that if you had run this strategy, these are the returns that you would have gotten. If you did a, just only traded $100,000 with that strategy, you would have walked away with $8 million. Now, obviously, there's a bug here, potentially. I'm not saying there is or isn't. But here you get these kind of crazy returns, 1.8 million. Deutsche, 30. These are all CFDs on Oanda. But my point here is you can have a strategy you hand code up in Python or whatever language you want. But if you're not properly backtesting it, and you go, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to make money with the strategy because you're testing it against maybe the wrong data set or the wrong instrument. But here, you can say with a degree of confidence that you will be able to run the strategy against maybe 2 or 3 instruments here, like the NASDAQ 100, the UK 100, and the Deutsche 30. Okay, and you're going to get these kind of returns. Okay, so that tells you right there, same strategy, no beyond programming and coding and changing that strategy. You would think, oh, maybe I can make money in Forex. Well, looks like you can't. But you throw away the strategy, you throw away the idea. And you may throw away 3-6 months of work, right? So here, if you do this type of back test, you go, hold on, I can make money here in this UK 100, NASDAQ 100, and the Deutsche 30. That will tell you that the strategy is fine if you focus only on these certain instruments. And the other thing is, with this, is you can now do a walk forward test as well. Okay? So that will validate your trading idea. If you were to run that against the historical data on these 3 instruments, that is, it's still valid 3 months out or 6 months out. And you can get a yes pretty quickly by just pushing a button. So this is another big benefit that MotiveWave offers you, okay? And to hand code that up, I'm telling you, this was like another big eureka moment. I could go on and on about MotiveWave and why I love MotiveWave, okay? This is why I love it, because it's going to save you wasting your time and effort, and even maybe save you from throwing away a potentially bad strategy that you worked a lot of effort on, and the back test didn't show that they work. But if you ran it like this in something like MotiveWave, you may be able to identify, I've got a couple instruments here I can make a massive killing with. But in Python, the hand coding with Python or whatever else, you may not have seen it. But with MotiveWave, at least it gives you a shot that says, yes, you can potentially make money there. Any questions on that? Okay, if not, let's talk about Emini Micros. So, over the year, and I'll say over the years, people go, you can make a massive amount of money in crypto. And I showed you the 3 instruments or the pairs that you could have made money. Okay, I talked about them. We talked about if you're trading this time last year up until mid-April, you would have made a killing with this pair and this pair by luck. If you discovered that on Binance or whatever other major exchange, by luck. And you would have to be on Binance to get this kind of return on Binance. So if you're trading on some other Asian-based exchange or Kraken or Coinbase, you would not have gotten this. You would not have gotten that kind of return unless you were lucky. The word is lucky. Keyword is lucky. You were on Binance and you were able to see these level of returns. Okay, so that is something that you need to be cognizant of. But that is only, for me, discovered by luck. But when you get a tool here, yeah, there might be some luck involved. But what I just showed you with the optimized feature in the back testing, you may have discovered potentially, oh, I can make money here and here and here, but not Forex. And you could do the same thing and run it against other instruments. And those are, sorry, other asset classes. So those other asset classes that really, really matter is futures and options. You want to build wealth, you can do well in crypto, but you want to do even better, where you need to have some capital. You have to have a winning strategy, no doubt on that consistently wins. Emini Micros. So if I go into Google, right, these were launched in the spring by the CME. Emini Micros. These are futures products that the CME thinks that, well, let's try to get the smaller retailer in, because when you look at regular futures, you need to have a large margin requirement for a couple thousand, $1,000, $3,000. But here you have 7 indices to choose from, U.S. based. You have some currency ones as well that I've discovered as well. Look at the kind of returns you could have gotten. These were launched in March, right? And look at the kind of returns we're talking, like 23% here. Oh, there's another alert. Go back. I'm running alerts right now and signals. But you can see here the kind of returns are massive. So if you want to do really well, but you have more capital to start with, this is where you want to be in futures, options. Now, comes back to MotiveWave. I think MotiveWave was launched in 2010. From what I've seen and how it's been built and how it's evolved, I really think MotiveWave is been built for a futures asset class to trade with. I mean, that's the initial historical name. MotiveWave was based upon some wave pattern or something. I don't know the exact history of MotiveWave itself, but the name, that's where it's evolved from. On MotiveWave, you get harmonics and you get harmonic patterns analysis. You get also you get what do you call a Fibonacci, deep Fibonacci analysis, and you also get Elliott wave. So here's are these asset classes that you could trade options and futures and do very, very well in, because a guy I know close to me had talked to an ex Goldman Sachs trader, one of their star traders, and he only focuses on futures and currency, not retail Forex, not bucket shop Forex like the bucket shops that you get with retail Forex brokers. We're talking on the CME and currencies in futures. And you want to make money, that's where you go to make like really big wealth. From my experience, let me get rid of this email. So with options over the years since I've been doing this, most of the guys I've seen that do really good and they do well and consistently well is in options trading. Okay, but that's a whole nother discussion. Okay, but the point is I've got a software platform, a trading platform that I can easily deploy and go from crypto, Forex retail, use the same technology, same platform, everything stays the same code, same strategy potentially, and just point it to a different broker or a different exchange, to an options exchange, or sorry, to an options broker or to a futures broker, as I said, through MotiveWave, through here. So let's say if I'm on Oanda, okay, and I think I might be able to take a winning strategy and deploy it to a futures market like Optimus or Stage 5 or Canon or the other one, AMP, I could easily do that with no code changes. I'm just pointing and changing my workspace in a MotiveWave, but everything else stays the same. Name me a platform that you can do that with. And again, it comes back to what I said earlier. It's about the speed of implementation of a trading idea. Here, it's almost near instance, okay? It's instant. And that is another massive benefit that you get with MotiveWave. Again, I'm not here to try to push you on MotiveWave. I mean, maybe you're seeing it. I could show you the platform itself. It will sell itself. Just go through my playlist, and those will show a lot of benefits that MotiveWave offers. But just from a 35,000 foot view and in this discussion about lessons that I learned, this is what MotiveWave offers you and enables me to move from asset class to asset class, be able to identify an actual working strategy as quickly as I just showed you, where it can make money, if it will make money, and exact which instruments I should trade that thing with for maximum results, maximum optimized profit. Okay, that's what we're talking about. So now we know about these Emini Micros, right? All from the CME. Okay, so here you can start trading some of these instruments like the NASDAQ or the Dow Jones actually for less than $300. So the margin requirement, including the trade or the contract that you sell, okay, will be only less, not even $300. Okay, so you can now go to interactive brokers and make that trade. Okay, I mean, I wouldn't tell you and guide you to go out and do a crazy test to test your trading idea with a $300 contract for a futures contract, but you can do it, and you can do it with MotiveWave. Okay, so these are the big, huge benefits that these micro E-minis offer that you couldn't do before. With the regular full-on volume, or sorry, future contracts. So that's this is a massive benefit. So once I grow the account, you'll see, hopefully I could take the same trading idea, and I got some trading ideas that are momentum based, and move them into the E-mini Micros, and then hopefully evolve from there into bigger future contracts and take advantage of that. But the thing is, when you move a strategy into options, it's a totally different ball game, because you have different types of data to work with on an options contract. So understand that. But that's where I want to be in a few years, okay? Because that's where the big money is, and even if there is a recession that comes on, which I think will happen, there will always be a futures market. There will always be an options market, okay? I mean, the futures market's been around for, 150 years out of Chicago, so it's not going anywhere. And that takes me out of the sketchy retail Forex market, and I still think there's a lot of big benefits with crypto. I'll show you some of the benefits with crypto right now that nobody talks about. But from a legitimacy point of view, from a credibility point of view, I definitely want to move into E-mini Micros. So one of the big benefits that I had between MotiveWave and crypto, you can look at crypto. This hasn't been updated, I don't think, through something called Coin Compare, and that enables you to look at crypto. So here, in this instance of my MotiveWave, you can see I am looking at, I believe it's 32 crypto pairs. Yeah, right here, 32 crypto pairs is what's currently happening in the markets right now. So the problem with that is you cannot trade crypto with MotiveWave. So I gotta put a lot of kudos on MotiveWave, the company. They're just an awesome company. So what they did was, when they saw this, you can now trade with MotiveWave in crypto with a solution that I've built out down here in the marketplace here, where I've got a Python script and a complete walkthrough on how to do it. I'll be refining it as time passes, but the initial code is there with a walkthrough. Plus, all the programming that brings you to this Quant Lead service that I've got. So I'm adding all my programming to this service. So that's been added, and that's one of the big benefits. So with that, you can now trade sorta with MotiveWave sending out the signals and interfacing it via email with Python training bots. So that brings both worlds that I've talked about between Python bots and now the huge benefits that MotiveWave gives you. And that's what I was saying about what I said earlier. MotiveWave, you can do a lot if you're not a programmer. You can do a huge amount of things. But that's what I'm saying now. I'm looking for those advantages, being able to implement those training ideas and strategies, implement them with MotiveWave visually, and with all the features and bells and whistles you get with MotiveWave, and then be able to, at some points, needing to customize something in MotiveWave, if it's in Java or if it's in Python, I can do that because the architecture's open enough to enable that. And that's where I'll be coding. One of the other things I'm not really talked a lot about, but I've mentioned in past videos, is something called MATLAB. And if you know about MATLAB, if you took the amount of technology that MotiveWave offers in the platform and compared that to what MATLAB offers, it's like comparing a little mini micro, or sorry, a mini the car, a mini Modus, and that's being MotiveWave, where MATLAB would be like a space shuttle. It's that the leap from MotiveWave to MATLAB is huge. But I still think that MotiveWave is the best platform to do all your trading out of. But the reason I bring up MATLAB is because it comes back to the same difficulties that you'll find when you hand code, be it in Python or whatever guru, hipster programming language comes out of, the ecosphere of the blogosphere of programming. And the thing is that who cares about what you're programming? Honestly, who really cares? At the end of the day, it's all about profit. So if you want to be able to do that, you need to be able to take a trading idea, have all the infrastructure in place, all the plumbing in place actually, and be able to use a platform like MotiveWave to get you to be able to implement that trading idea, not instantly, but really fast, a lot faster than hand coding it. Because hand coding is going to kill you on trying to bring everything together that you need. And it's very rare. I've seen people succeed in trading. Out of the, I'll even say thousands of people I've dealt with over the years. But MotiveWave cuts out a lot of that. And I'm not saying what people do in hand coding, but in terms of benefits that you get with something like MotiveWave versus hand coding it, or even any other platform, it's just, this is the place to be. But when you start looking at MATLAB again, why MATLAB versus Python? When you hear about and the benefits of machine learning, you need to be able to take the same concept. You don't want to really have to sit there in Python and hand code all that stuff using TensorFlow or PyTorch or whatever. Why would you do that? People don't realize the tools that MATLAB offers and the third-party tools that come out of really smart people that have built GUI tools like a graphical user interface with MATLAB. You feed the data in, and then you push a couple of buttons and it gives you the result. And it will give you, again, the fast implementation, or at least a fast trading idea that you want with MATLAB, and be able to go, oh, if I try this type of technique in machine learning, be able to bang out the trading idea in Java, and then you can now tie it into MotiveWave, because MotiveWave is built around Java. So Java is very powerful now to be able to use with MotiveWave, and down the road with MATLAB, using machine learning techniques and so many other techniques that MATLAB offers that Python has, but trying to get to what MATLAB offers in a GUI environment could take you many, many months to actually get to. And again, you ask yourself, why blow your brains out trying to get that hand coded in whatever language you want, when MATLAB most likely already offers it. It's the same concept of what we're talking about here between hand coding and Python versus MotiveWave, but taking the same concepts of Python coding, hand coding it, and using the benefits of MATLAB. Sometimes whatever you pay, you're paying to cut out and save the time, and maybe even get a professional, as opposed to the open source concept where is what I'm building and the results I'm getting from what's built is actually correct. So yeah, you got to be aware of that too. So there's all these eureka moments. So MATLAB, maybe a year from now, I might start looking at it. But right now, MotiveWave is the focus, trying to at some point get into the futures using Emini Micros. Any questions on any of that or what I just said? If not, I can move on. So I've talked about this, bridging the Python bots. Okay, another thing that I can talk to you about is undiscovered winners in crypto, okay? If you watch, I've switched from Bloomberg to Yahoo Finance. And all I hear about from a lot of these brain dead analysts or anchors is that they're brain dead. I mean, let's face it. They'll say, "Oh, the death of crypto and the death of Binance of overall crypto." Yeah, I'm not arguing. You have lost, and you are in what we call a falling knife environment for the last 6 months. Let's not argue that. But if I was to tell you that there are some opportunities in crypto that you could have doubled your money. One such pair is Link. Okay, Chainlink. This is where the Facebook project, Facebook Libra comes from, is this particular coin. They announced it very hush-hush, but I caught it. And this is the platform or the choice that people want. So if I look at, let's say, the last 3 months, or 6 months, it's done fairly well. You know, it's considering all the other coins out there. You know, you can see the drop here. I've not been really eyeing the crypto market outside of what I see with MotiveWave, but you know, last week, as an example, Waves was going pretty crazy. Okay, so if I show you this one, Waves, the coin. Let's see if I can find it here. Looks like they don't have Waves. Where can I go to show you that? I guess they don't have Waves. It's not big enough, so that's another problem. Yeah, let me show you in Bitcoin. So just in the last week, this is just another potential opportunity that you have with Waves. You can see here this big little rise. So if I did a 5-day view, I mean, you see these massive run-ups. This is what we're looking for. If you have a strategy, even though crypto is down, there are opportunities. There's like what you call micro opportunities, where you can get like a 10% run up. There was a 10% run up in Bitcoin a week or so ago. And there's another one I can hopefully show you is XTZ. That's called Tezos. So let me show you if that one's done well. There's just gaps in crypto that you can do really well in. And that's what I'm looking for. So here's Tezos. It's done from here to here, from here to here. So there, as I said, there's lots of opportunity there. So, you know, they exist. You just got to find them. Another one's called Atom. I mean, I could go on and on about them, but you know, there's no leverage here that's needed. Unlike in Forex, you can trade this 24 hours a day. For 3-4 days, things were up. And if you look at the live view, you can see I got signals generating. So right now we have this one called LSK BTC that's up 6.84% today, or XMR up 1.59. I found patterns now among this list. When crypto's dying, this kind of pair moves. LSK, this one's moving 6.84. So if you are able to know that, see that, you can make money even in a bad market and do kind of well. Okay, so be aware of that. That's what I'm trying to tell you, is you can do really, really good here. These are what I call undiscovered winners in crypto. Okay, so for you, Param, you were asking about exits. I'm going to admit to you, exit strategies are really hard, okay? One of the big benefits I like about MotiveWave is you can see things that you wouldn't be able to normally see. So I'm going to show you some charts here. This I just discovered on Saturday. You see here, we have an exit. This is new. I just kind of discovered this. And I would have only discovered it through MotiveWave. And again, no hand coding involved. You know, everyone's going to just use the so-called popular patterns or indicators out there, but they won't know about other ones. So here in MotiveWave, you can see here my discovery here was just because these are like equivalent of indicators or studies as they're called in MotiveWave. See here, I got 4 different types of stops. So on Saturday, I just spent like, I mean, the video's there, half an hour, okay? Which one looks reliable? So I went through all of these: ATR, trailing stop, elder stop, percentage trading stop, volatility stop, okay? So what you're looking at right now, these exit markers, these are from volatility stops. And they're reliable. They're really reliable. I put out 2 videos on this on the weekend. So these exit stop, these type of stops seem to work in highly volatile asset classes like both crypto and Forex. I mean, I don't know if they're marginally better than, let's say, in this case, again, another discoveries. I'm using this Ichimoku cloud concept, and that works. That works really well because I can do an entry, and sometimes I can get an exit out of that. But sometimes, just sometimes, not all the time, maybe half, let's say, these things will pop up and tell you to get out before the Ichimoku exit's telling you to get out. And it can save, just having that can save you from some very bad trades. And I go through that. So again, I would not have discovered that unless I went through what I have with MotiveWave. I never knew anything about this. So if I was to show you what that study is, I can pull it up here. So it's a specific type of stop developed by this guy to identify exit points for either long or short positions, but in a highly volatile environment. So here I have all my parameters. Here it can generate the signals, can generate an email from it, Okay, so that's what I'm testing, and will be testing over the next few days. But I don't think it'll be it's not going to be marginally better, but it's going to save me from a lot of bad trades. When I go through my trading log, you'll see a lot of losing positions. And a lot of the losing positions are good because you look at, let me see an example here. Right here, this is a good one. Here, I think in here is an entry, right here, okay? And right here is an exit marker using the Ichimoku. So here, I probably would have lost money on that trade. But what it's doing is it's saving me from having excessive losses. Because the Ichimoku, here's another example. So here's the entry, here's the exit. So if you look at that trading log, you go, well, that's a loss. Yeah, it is. But you'll see a lot of these type of trades, a lot of them. So you'll think your strategy's not working. But what it's doing, it's saving you from bad trades. But what I'm hoping for is to get situations like here where you get this entry and, you'll make a little bit, but there's other instances that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Well, this one's not so much. Let me go over to the crypto. Let me try to think. There was a couple of ones that did really well. Tron was a great example. There were some great run-up trades. Like here was an entry, kept running up. Boom. So that's a nice run up. You get quite a few of those, but hopefully those override in profit versus all those little losses that you take. But what you're looking for are these big breakouts, and hopefully some of these breakouts are so big that they'll wipe out all the little losing trades. And when it comes down to, from my experience, all this is how trading is. When it comes to any algorithm, you'll never get 70% winners. I mean, you can when the momentum overall is riding in your favor, specifically when you're trading these kind of pairs between December last year till April. So you can do really well, but it just depends not to do with their strategy, not to do with their technology. It has to do with the market itself. So you could do really well. But when you're trading in a really challenged market, as I said, when it came to Bitcoin and the falling knife environment, you will get these little losses, quite a few. So when you go back to how I used to obsess over win-loss ratio, I gave that up because you're not going to get win-loss ratios, but what you're hoping for, and I'm using the word hope here, is that you have enough of these big trades to sort of override those big little but many, quite a few losses. And that's what we're hoping for on the overall P&L for crypto, and using this type of strategy and pattern. So you'll think you can improve your exits, but what you got to get into the mindset now of, regardless of what kind of algo, what kind of strategy you use, you will find, most likely you will have strategies that will give you entries, and a lot of bad entries, but yet you will have the exits that get improved by using something like a volatility stop, and be able to prevent you from taking on a lot more excessive losses and killing off your overall P&L. Where, as I said, you hope that you have the market condition and the right picks to get these kind of run-ups as I'm showing you here, right? That will override that, and you get quite a few of those. So that's the only way to win at this, I feel, in a highly volatile market like crypto or Forex. Okay, and that's where you as a trader, you as a newbie trader, or you as a baby trader with a tiny account of a couple $100, because I'm trying to prove that you can do well in this game from starting with nothing and then move into the futures market when you have capital. Because what's the point of starting somebody in futures market when they don't have this real great concept of how the futures market works, and they're consistently losing money, but not consistently losing money, but thousands of dollars. Here, you're better off to trade in a smaller market or a harder market to trade, like in crypto or Forex, and develop your algo or your strategy development skills. And then if you can do well in these little markets like crypto and Forex, and where it's in crypto where it's long only, and you can make money in that, and you can make good money, you're as one guy told me, you are a damn good trader, like probably the best. So when you start in this type of asset class like crypto with long only in a falling knife, and you can still make money in that, and you apply that same trading rules and all that, those skills that you learn, and apply them into the world of in the futures and eventually options, you can make a killing, because you already have the skills you need to be a really good trader in those other asset classes, because you can now trade in this market with crypto, which is very hard, and then move into futures and options. Because I'll tell you, when you get the big traders, or we'll call them the fat cats, that think they're great traders in futures and options, but yet they're really dependent upon market condition goes in their favor. They're probably shitty traders. But yet you tell them, okay, I'm going to force you, take your trading ideas and see how well you do in crypto. They'll have given up within a week, because this is a very hard market. But if you do the reverse as a newbie, start in crypto and move into the options and futures, you can do really well. And once you develop those skills and you get confident, that's when you become really good. And eventually, no matter what the economy is, recession, Great Depression, World War III, it doesn't matter. You could probably make a lot of money, because you have the skills to make a lot of money in a market that has nothing to do with the economy. It's not dependent upon the economy. And you can do well in those markets or those asset classes. So that's the biggest takeaway. And the only way you can do that, from my perspective, is MotiveWave that offers that to you. And again, I'm able to become a better trader because I see things visually and experiment with all the studies you get with something like MotiveWave. And be it, you know, with MotiveWave, you got over 200 studies to play with here. Okay? I mean, it's a lot. And then you have out-of-box strategies as well. And you can develop some of these studies yourself and evolve them into strategies as well. See how they do. That's pretty well it. I've covered the exits for you that you were asking about. So hopefully I've given you some tips there. If you got any questions, let me know. I could go on about other stuff if you want. But those are the big lessons I took away from 2019. And it makes you not just better, but you got better tools to move into 2020 with something like MotiveWave. And I'm not sitting here because I'm a partner of MotiveWave. I'm giving you the real deal. And another thing you have to understand is, like, you know, once I get the live trading happening, hopefully the next week or so, I've got everything set up. Credibility and trading journals are very critical to show your track record. But I'm not going to just show it to anybody. But I got my reasons for that as well. So hopefully you've taken away some lessons from this. Let me know if you got any questions. If not, we'll end it. And I'm going to be doing another webinar next week, this time next week, on my outlook for 2020. It's going to be most likely a continuation of what I've got here, and talk about that for next year. Any other questions? If not, I'll do it going once, twice, 3 times, and then we'll end it. We'll go to the next step next week. But I'll be putting a lot of stuff together as usual. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Okay, so I guess we're done. Oh yeah, you got a question about MotiveWave? Yeah, go ahead. I can unmute you. It's just me and you right now. If you want to talk, that's cool. I've unmuted you, or if you want to type it up. You got a question about MotiveWave? I just said, I don't know if you're... How to use Python these days. I don't quite understand. Because with the Python bot, everything's usable. Like all the pieces that you have, you could learn from that Python course I showed you. All those pieces are still highly valuable to integrate with MotiveWave. So I show that. And, you know, it's still very important stuff. I'm using bits and pieces of it. So it's, between the two, it's very helpful. And there's a lot of things you can do with MotiveWave as well. Or in Python you can't do with MotiveWave. Again, going back to here, as I said earlier, I'm only having access to useful, out of all the useful pairs here in crypto, there's only maybe at most, what I found was 32 pairs. But like I showed you other pairs that you will not get access to through MotiveWave at the current version. But there's many other pairs out there on Binance that do really well. But you have to be only in Python. So all the Python code I've done throughout the year will get reactivated and will just be added to the quant analytics more and more. I can do things like predicting stop losses, setting the targets. I use Fibonacci for that, and a pile of other stuff. So there's going to be a combination of both. So I think hopefully I answered your question. Anything else? Oh, for those that may be watching, I should talk about the additions of MotiveWave here. MotiveWave comes in many different forms, editions. Here's the massive differences that I know about. Where's my MotiveWave? Okay, so you have different editions of MotiveWave. As I said, there's a sale coming up starting on the 26th. So MotiveWave has 4 different editions: there's standard, trade, and professional. So all the stuff I showed you with the studies, you can get started right now, $25 a month after the 2 week trial. Okay, and then you get this payment, and then you can, if you like it and you want to continue using it after a year, you can just pay a nominal couple $100 for the ultimate, let's say, for the support. Or you can go move up to the trading edition. The only difference that may give you is the Elliott wave, but well, you see the difference here. The Elliott wave, and as I said, I prefer the harmonics over the Elliott wave. It just works better for me. And then you get all this extra stuff in the trade edition, and then you get in the pro, and that's when it starts getting kind of pricey for most people. But if you get kind of hooked on MotiveWave and you like it, you see it's worthwhile for the return that you and the benefit you get with it, then you can move up to the other bigger editions. That's totally up to you. So that's how I look at it. I personally have the Ultimate. It's really good. I mean, there's a lot of power to it. As you can see in the check marks here, there's just a lot going on. So I'm not sure if that'll help you out if you want to go with MotiveWave. Anything else? If not, we'll do another going once, twice, 3 times. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. I guess we're done, I guess. Yeah, so we got Christmas Eve tomorrow and Christmas Day the following day. If not, have a good holiday season. And I'll be doing, like I said, another webinar a week today on how I look at 2020. But it's pretty well going to be continuation of today. All right, so we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Have a good holiday season to whoever's watching, listening, and we shall talk to you later. All right, man. Have a good one. See ya.